Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Do you want to talk with me about the AS VAL, the newest AR to the Warzone in Season 6? And I would like to call it the best SMG/sniper gun in the Warzone. Why would I call it SMG? Well, we'll see it in the numbers as we check them, but the gun is kind of usable from 0 to 50 meters. Let's say 40 meters. And after that, it's kind of like, With a 30 round mag max, the gun has its problematics. I mean, it starts standard with 20, 30 is the max extension. You have a 10 special round mag that you're obviously never going to use apart from if you're in multiplayer. And that is obviously the limitation to the gun. If you want to beam people on the distance and you have only 30 rounds, that gives you like back to the Odin problematic pretty much. What we're going to handle in this video is the recoil of the gun, what attachments we need to counter it. We're going to show you 4, I don't know how many amazing builds for the AS VAL, because there are quite some different ways to build it. There's like a short range, mid range, and there would even be a long range variant, and there's definitely paired this gun with a sniper build. On top of that, we're going to be checking the TTK charts, comparing it to other guns in its class to see how well does it actually perform and is it viable. Let's look at the damage values and compare the AS VAL to some of the more popular guns that are being ran in the Warzone. We have the MP5 up to the left and the Kilo up to the bottom left. Then we have the AS VAL and the AS VAL 10 round mag. As you can see, the rate of fire of the AS VAL is relatively high at 885 RPM. Only the Fennec has like 1000 RPM with a little bit faster there. The MP5 and the Kilo themselves have like a lower fire rate. From the damage values, we're like at 37 on chest, 34 on chest, 28 on chest. So the Kilo obviously does way less damage. That's what we knew already for a long while already. And with the damage fall off after 32 meters, you kind of see how fewer damage the Kilo actually does, especially for the MP5 later on also. Thing that we have to mention though is the bullet velocity is extremely low on the AS VAL. It's only 333 meters per second, where the MP5 has 500 and the Kilo has twice the bullet velocity, which already tells me that with 333 bullet velocity, that's right tag values. You kind of do really not want to use the AS VAL as a super long range gun. I mean, you don't want to shoot this on 100 meters with a 30 round mag and that low of a bullet velocity, especially since the biggest barrel can't boost the values that much onwards. We're looking at the 10 round mag. You have really nice damage values, but your fire rate halves down and you again have the low bullet velocity. The only thing about the fire rate is I would say you can play this gun like an FAL, but you only have 10 round mag. So I don't know, FAL 57 damage, you would have to land like 5 shots to the chest to kill someone out of a 10 round mag. What you gonna do against the next opponent? And 5 shots to the chest single fire? If we're looking at the time to kill charts here, it's mental. The AS VAL itself has only 1 damage fall off. Do you see like 1 crazy damage fall off by nature? This is without a barrel, okay? There's no barrel on it. There's no barrel on the MP5 too. The MP5 has a 500 time to kill, 520 time kill, where the AS VAL is down to the 400. And after 30 meters here, 32 meters, there's the first damage fall off. And that's it. There's no more damage fall off. It stays like that for the rest of the game, which kind of would include, yes, you could shoot it on 100 meter. But again, the gun has a super high vertical recoil and it has only a 30 round max. So I don't want to shoot with it on 100 meters in any way. We'll definitely, though, try to build a VLK version and see how it turns out to be. Look at the Kilo. The Kilo has a really shitty time to kill. 639 compared to 416. What the hell? What? 200 milliseconds less? And the VLK Kilo build also has like a super high ADS time, where the AS VAL has like no existing ADS time, more or less on the MP5 level. And then the damage fall offs of the Kilo. Obviously, the bullet travel time to target plays a role here. And as we can see, if we slap some attachments on the Kilo, we can boost the 720 meters per second really high up. And the damage fall off is not that high. When it comes down to the AS VAL, the damage fall off goes like off the charts. So there you again see, you really don't want to shoot like with this on a long range, especially because your lead would be super trashy. Let's check out the base gun in the gun range and see how it performs. It's the base AS VAL 20 round mag, and we're just gonna blast that into the wall to see what the AS VAL has for us. And as you can see from the AS VAL, there's like this standard start wiggle, goes up, wiggles to the right back. There's slight horizontal deviation, so this would technically aim for a command of foregrip to hope that we could iron this out and make it a more straight feeling. And then we'd obviously have to squash the vertical recoil too. Let's see how it would be unattached, unscoped, to spray that into a wall. Yep. You see 20 bullets come out super fast, high fire rate, left to right wiggle, horizontal is there. So we kind of want to squish the horizontal. The vertical is okay to control. That wasn't really the problem, but the horizontal needs to be something that we have to get now under control with the attachment. We're going to first focus now on a build to control the characteristics of the AS VAL, but later we're also going to give you more different varieties, more different builds due to what the gun gives away and what is possible with the attachments. If we're looking at the barrels first, we have the Zova, the Stoffel, and the OSA barrel. The OSA barrel is the longest range barrel, giving you 29% bullet velocity plus and 26% range modifier by adding only a moderate ADS speed, like plus 21 milliseconds. That's nothing. We have also the Stova barrel, which gives you faster ADS, takes 10% range down and 10% bullet velocity, 16% bullet velocity. That would mean that the Stover barrel is kind of for an SMG variant. Why would I not play this one? Yes, it gives minus 38 milliseconds, but it also decreases the bullet velocity even more, and the bullet velocity is already trash on the gun. We know that. Obviously, you could use this inside a building, but then for nothing else ever again. So I would say the SOF barrel is never being used ever, but the Stova barrel for an SMG build and the OSA barrel to obviously then in the long range take care of everything else with a sniper. So for this build, I would probably straight up go for the OSA barrel. What is really interesting to see here is also that the longest barrel doesn't offer any recoil control. Next up, we're going to be looking at the stocks because the stocks are actually fantastic for this gun. We have the Vintage, which adds aiming stability. That is going for aiming down side speed. Then you have even more aiming down side speed and walking movement speed. And last but not least, you have the Strelo barrel, which gives you recoil control, aiming stability, aim walk steadiness, and only for the trade-off of some ADS speed, and that turns out to be 20% vertical recoil. That's like a compensator or like a foregrip, and you only get plus 8 ms on ADS time. That's actually crazy. Makes you a little bit slower, which is fine if we're talking about a plus sniper variant or an AR plus AR variant. So we're going to slap on the Strelo barrel to take care of the stock vertical recoil. Also gives you aiming stability, which makes overall the gun more manageable. If we're looking at the foregrips, we have quite some options here. And we're going to start with the commando foregrip testing, but obviously we're going to see how the commando foregrip behaves, and then we're going to adapt the foregrips to what we have seen as we spray the wall. Obviously, I told you that we have some horizontal recoil that I would like to squish, and no other grip squishes horizontal recoil as the commando foregrip does. We're getting 6% vertical recoil and 15% horizontal bounce. Since we already have 20% from the stock, I don't think we actually do need even more, but we will definitely give this a go and see how the others do feel. On top of that, we're obviously adding the 30 round mag. We don't want to play the 10 round mag. We're not playing like some weird ass FAL variant right now on top of that. Now we have the painful choice of what is going to be our last attachment. Technically, you kind of want to have sleight of hand for the reload quickness, because with sleight of hand, you could play this gun better in quads. I think the base version, like with the 30 round mag, is insane in duos and trios and solos. In quads, you could come every now and then to the problem with the 30 rounds. I mean, technically, you need half a mag to kill someone, more or less. I killed someone with like 8 bullets as I only hit him in the head. So it's definitely possible as you go for that. With your last attachments, you have quite a variety of options. You could go for attack laser to just be a little bit faster on your ADS speed. Plus, you get even more aiming stability to make the gun feel better. You could add a scope, but I do actually feel that the inside of the gun is quite okay. It feels like the mini Archangel barrel from the Grau. As we go for the rear grips, we have the chance for rubberized or for stipple grip tape. That would be 13 ms or 34 and 71 ms on technical fire sprint time, or you get minus 6% vert recoil. In this regard, I'm just going to slap on the recoil control for the vert recoil, as we want to see how much can we handle the gun with every recoil attachment on. How does it feel there on the like short to mid range? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is now the build that we put on for maximum recoil control. We're gonna aim for the point, pull slightly right over. How do you feel now, Mr. Gun? Well, I like what I see here. So we got rid of the Stark Wiffle here. With the bonus horizontal recoil, there's not that much splitting going on, and the vert also gets squished. I mean, there is no more vert attachment for this gun. That's kind of it. We can't add any vert recoil more on top of this with cream and cheese. Let's see how well it lets control itself if we just aim for this and try to pull down. that feels really good. I mean, I overpulled a little bit. I really got to get used to the super high fire rate of the gun. But all in all, you can see the big difference when we try to control this one. It just flipped out to the left and the right, where this one just feels very measured now, very pulled together. That foregrip seems already to be the best. This is the Commando. Don't you worry. Now let's slap on some other foregrips and see how this all in all with the max recoil control behaves together foregrip wise. This is the Merc foregrip now, one of the more popular foregrips that people love to use. Merc foregrip feels surprisingly awesome too. Not that much different to the Commando foregrip at all. I mean, we're talking about 6% horizontal deviation, so not really anything that much out of the charts. The vertical recoil is even more squished, so Merc foregrip also a nice addition. I don't expect to see that much of a difference in all of these. Let's slap on the Ranger foregrip. Ranger foregrip does feel even more straight for some weird reason. I think that's the aiming stability. The aiming stability kind of is the stat that makes your gun more or less keep following its initial path. So aiming stability is a nice attachment. Now it would be interesting to see if the gun actually does even perform better if you slap off the rear grip and if we put on a tack laser for ADS speed, but also for maximum aiming stability to see if it even like follows more the path and gets more manageable. Because I gotta say, this one feels currently the most manageable in comparison to the others. Let's give this a go. This would be the double aiming stability version with the tack laser and with the Ranger foregrip. And you don't really see that much of a difference in these two curves. But now I want to see, like, if I now do the aiming stability on the tack laser instead of the 6% vert recoil control, because I don't feel that much less of a vert recoil. We have the tack laser now on the gun, and we don't have the rear grip on the gun. So the rear grip with a 6% just seems absolutely neglectable. Rather have like the tack laser for the quicker ADS speed. Let's see how the tack laser does feel with a different grip too. That would be tack laser, but with Merc foregrip. And I think the most important lesson to learn here from this is when it comes down to grips, it's really kind of like personal preference and the mini stat squashing. When it comes down to the foregrips, we have 13 milliseconds ADS time on the Merc, 17 on Ranger, 0 on the Commando. We also get 19% better hipfire with the Merc, so we're going to have a hipfire build also up and coming with this. We have a little bit more aiming stability, which feelingly makes the gun go a little bit better. The Ranger, the Commando foregrip makes you the slowest movement speed. So it's kind of like, what do you want to have? What do you feel like? I think for my personal gaming here right now, when I'm aiming the gun for more with the sniper, I guess the Ranger just has felt the best for me. When we have the normal, no attachments, Commando, Merc, Ranger, Ranger tack laser, Merc tack laser. As you can see, there is not much of a variety. There are, like in the grip department here, you don't have much of a difference going on. This is the build I would probably run for a sniper. You have the Strelok barrel for the recoil control, tack laser for super ADS speed, OSA for the range, Ranger for the aiming stability, plus vert recoil control, and then the 30 round mag. If we look at the ADS speed we get with this build, it would be 240 milliseconds, and the standard base is 225 milliseconds. If we look at the MP5, that is the ADS speed of the MP5. You pretty much are down to the same values here. It's actually quite crazy how slow it can be. But now let's see what would an SMG variant look like if we play this gun really as a hipfire monster close quarter combat beast, and then we're looking at a non-hipfire version. Let's look at the kind of hipfire close quarter combat version, MP5 style. When it comes down to barrels here, there is kind of no attachment that helps us. We could get more ADS speed, but we don't get any kind of fire area help. So which attachment would help us here to improve our hipfire spread? First, let's check the lasers, obviously. Could get 56% hipfire spread better. Check mark. Lasers out. Usually there's a no stock attachment that helps with the hipfire, but does any of these actually do also hipfire help? In reality, there's also no stock helping you with the hipfire here. So realistically, we would probably go for the Strelok to just take care of the vert recoil to make just the gun more manageable. I don't think there's ever a reason to not use this Strelok because yes, you get more ADS speeds on this one. You could build an absolute crazy ADS speed version, but it's more or less one of the only attachments that adds vertical recoil control on the gun. And then, as we know, there's only one grip that helps with the hipfire accuracy, and that is the Merc Foregrip. We have to slap on the ammunition. That would be the 30 round mag. So right now, that would be your build with the 5 milliwatt Strelok Merc 30 round. And again, you have the variety of choice where you're going to go for. As I do think we're going to use a hipfire more inside buildings, more close quarters, and we wouldn't use a hipfire in the long ranges, then we would actually check out the barrels. And there would be an option where you're saying, hey, I could go for this, but it would also increase the vertical recoil by 28%. So I just don't see why you would make your own hipfire worse by having more vert recoil. Then I would rather go for the Sova barrel, lose a little bit of range and bullet velocity, but still get like also the ADS speed bonus. And that would be our hipfire SMG Variant, faster time to kill than the MP5, but only 30 bullets. Keep that in mind. When we talk about ADS speed on the hipfire version, it would be even lower. We had a 222nd millisecond ADS, so 20 faster. How fast can the gun though get? Can we get like the most craziest ADS speed beast out there that out ADSs everything, but that's really then only usable inside of buildings? So we would talk about building a version that is really like an Origin or an MP5 that you don't even dare to use over a range of 20 meters, and you would like start crying in that. So we need to slap on the 30 round mag. There's no question about that. Then we saw that the Stoffel soft barrel gives you the absolute crazy ADS speed, but it also gives you vert recoil. So I would again say yes, it would be the fastest, but you just can't use that attachment. It would be crazy. We're gonna slap on a tac laser to make the gun even faster. We're gonna put probably, I mean, we could go for the commando foregrips, but you saw that the foregrips don't do that much in total. So I would, in this regard, probably go for the stipple grip tape to make the gun fly in your hands even faster. And when it comes down to your stocks, you have two ADS stocks. Take a quick peek at which stock is the best, and that would be the GRU barrel with a 25 milliseconds ADS speed, where the other one gives you ADS movement speed, but then again, you're going to fly around with this gun, corners and everything, and you're not even going to be like ADSing around corners like, you know, a slow B. So we're put on the GRU barrel, and that would be like, that is the ADS beast. That is the gun where you fly around corners, where you push buildings, that you really only want to use inside. I mean, with the Sova barrel, the range isn't that bad. You're kind of going down like to 20 to 30 meter range, but you don't really have any vert recoil control, and the gun pulls really hard vertical. If we look at this version, ADS speed wise now, 163 milliseconds. That's crazy. That gun is so fast into your hands. I mean, that's almost down to a millisecond of like 100 milliseconds of ADS speed. I'm just loving this. We're definitely going to be trying all these builds out, but don't forget, I promised you also a final build, and that is a kind of VLK FAL build. So if you're crazy and if you really want to use the special ammunition for some weird ass reasons, sure, no problem. We slap that on, max range barrel too. Then we would go for the VLK optic because that's what you're going to be using the gun. Semi-auto FAL tapping, kind of in that direction. When it comes down to tapping, usually aiming stability is the stat that makes you feel the best. So we have two options here. We can put on the Strelok stock, which gives you aiming stability, 20% vert recoil. And since you don't want to have any other vert recoil, we put on the Ranger foregrip and even more aiming stability to make it follow its path. And that would be now kind of looking like a VSS, I have to say. You want to use this on maximum 40 to 50 meters. It's going to be a 5-shot kill gun. If you hit a headshot, you do actually do 100 damage. So with one headshot, you only need 3 more body shots. That's okay. But all in all, yeah, like, try it out. Give me a feedback if you like this version. That would be like the only one you can actually play on a kind of longer range. But again, I prefer the absolute sniper version of this gun. sum up the AS VAL. Let's pull a verdict. What did we learn? What is this gun about? So super fast, super accurate, low ammunition, which is a limiting factor in quads definitely, that you might actually think about putting sleight of hand on. I found it okay in quads. You can kill 2 people with it, then you run out of ammo, then you have a problem, which you have with kind of every gun, also with the MP5. It gets kind of stressful because if you kill someone with 20 bullets, you always feel that 10 bullets are not enough to kill someone, but they are if you're highly accurate, if you're playing the, probably not the hipfire version, if you're playing the OSA barrel sniper version, that it has the aiming stability bonus and that feels really absolutely crisp, on point. The gun is definitely the fastest killing gun out there right now. It's absolutely frying, limited by its ammunition, which is fine because else the gun would absolutely be OP. I'm going to be having this as my main gun with snipers for the time being now to see really how does it feel, how can we make this work. I have tried it already and I can say it's brilliant. You are absolute shredder. You don't feel like you're getting challenged in any way. You're not scared and it's super fun to use, but you got to be accurate as hell. If you start missing bullets, it's the Fennec problematic where you just die to this. So it's not the new broken OP gun on the market, but it is a fantastic fun gun to use that is a runner up to the MP5 100%. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you're enjoying Season 6. There's more to come about the AS VAL. You're definitely going to be seeing some frag movies where I show you the different builds and how well they do work in the Warzone live testing pretty much. Currently, I'm playing it with the SPR 208, so with the new sniper rifle. Yes, we're going to get a new sniper rifle video too, comparing that to the HDR and how good it actually is, because the new sniper is, I don't know, they created a monster. That gun is unbelievably crazy and I'm quite excited to see how well we can turn Season 6 out. So far I'm excited and I'm having a lot of fun. Thank you for watching the YouTube video, subscribing to the channel and making us pop off so hard. If you want to see the gun live, don't forget to tune in on Twitch 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. CEST German times, and have a wonderful good time with the Warzone with the new subway system. Take care of the reload bug. If you get it, you might have to jump into the subway again, then the reload bug is gone and you can actually use your guns again. See you soon.